The 8 people we admitted into our rehabilitation center this year are constantly getting their vehicles into extremely precarious situations.
Don't tip him over, don't tip him over.
You see, these aren't just any people. They're nominees for the country's most embarrassing driving title. 4 appalling motorists have already been allowed to leave rehab.
Congratulations, you really come a long way.
Thank you.
And the remaining 4 are doing everything they can to get out of here. Because next episode, we will name Canada's worst driver.
Whenever I see the 4 remaining candidates for the title of Canada's worst driver, I always have the same thought. How did they get a license in the first place?
What the hell?
In Regina, Mike Butt has the legal right to drive.
This is not a fake license. A lot of people accuse me of getting it out of a Cracker Jack box.
Mike's brother-in-law, Jody, knows the Regina license examiner told Mike to stop the first few times they met.
It took me 4 times.
And it should have taken more.
The driver tester took my word that I could parallel park, and he said, oh, okay, well, that's good to go. And then he just drove away. I didn't actually parallel park.
Was that their van?
To the driving instructor who passed me, thanks a lot. Check's in the mail, buddy.
In Sudbury, Angelina has a right to be on the road.
I can legally drive. I got a license. See?
But Christine knows Angelina should never have got the permit that preceded her license.
She actually failed her written test, so the guy thought that she looked like a really nice girl.
No.
So he offered her a chance to answer one question to get her license.
This was the question. It was what causes the most accidents?
In rehab, Angelina caused the most accidents through her excessive speed. But she still doesn't know what causes the most accidents.
Sorry! It was like, what causes most accidents? A, underinflated tires. B, overinflated tires. C, and I don't remember what I answered. But
You answered them.
And he's like, so I picked the other one, and he's like, pick it again. That was the only one left. I was like, oh, it's so bad. And I was like, oh, gave me the license.
In Windsor, Ontario, Arun has 2 driver's licenses.
I can drive in Canada. I can drive in India.
Getting the Canadian license took years.
I think I failed about 3 times to 4 times.
Arun failed because
I was supposed to take a right coming out of the drive test center, and I ended up driving onto the oncoming traffic. So I failed right away.
Another time, he didn't get off the test center parking lot.
I failed within the parking lot for driving close to a parked vehicle. The driving instructor felt my driving was very dangerous.
I agree with her.
And she said I needed more practice on the road before I can get my license.
In Charlottetown, punk rock Jacob got his license easily.
I got my license on the first try. I'm a good liar, I guess.
Get the out of my way! The day we met Jacob, he showed off by getting a real tattoo that says, I do what I want.
That's what I do. Everybody else. Driving laws. Stop signs.
Oh my God.
After serious rehabilitation, Jacob is finally doing what we want.
I do what I want, and right now I kind of want to become a better driver. That's been a totally, like, life-changing learning process.
To determine which one of these bad drivers will be the last graduate before our final episode,
Oh, God.
they'll each tackle 4 driving challenges. Grading their performances is the job of our experts. Cam Woolley is a former highway cop from the Ontario Provincial Police. Dr. Luisa Gambora is an avid car racer and psychologist. Peter Mellor is our instructor of basic driving. And Philippe Letourneau is our teacher of high-performance motoring.
Who are we? How did we get here? And where are the wheels of my car? To teach Canada's worst drivers where their wheels are, we've created the simplest course of the entire year.
The goal is keeping your wheels on the concrete track at all times.
This challenge was born because in our last episode, we used this same style of course, and it went so badly that we thought we should bring it back.
But this time, it's in reverse.
The important thing is setting your mirrors. If I move my wing mirrors good and low, I can see my wheel and I can see the concrete.
The straightaway is just as easy as it looks. But to make the right turn, drivers have to hug the right side, allowing room for the front end to swing left. Driving this course took me 5.5 minutes.
Now let's see how Canada's worst drivers do.
Jacob really wants to graduate. For Jacob to graduate, he has to stay cool under pressure. But every time one of his wheels touches the sand,
You're going down on my side.
Jacob has to start again. And that is frustrating him. Jacob's driving gets worse.
Oh my God, this is killing me.
I wonder if he's starting to lose it again.
Oh.
Jacob goes right off the rails.
If I'm Canada's worst driver, I'll get a tattoo of a steering wheel on my butt.
When we come back, the Know Where Your Wheels Are challenge takes Mike Butt's breath away. To avoid landing in our final episode, the nominees for Canada's Worst Driver are showing us how well they can keep track of their wheels.
Oh my God, this is killing me.
Arun adjusts his mirrors,
That's good.
but he can't locate his wheels.
It's all about knowing where your tires are.
Ever since we met Arun,
What are you doing?
he has seemed destined for our final episode.
Yikes. Yikes. Ooh. Tilting on one tire.
He's just turning the steering wheel left, turning the steering wheel right, and hoping for a result.
Stop the car. Think with your brain first, okay? Brake it. Now think where you are and think how you're supposed to turn.
Like this.
No.
Oh, man. Oh no.
Is everything okay?
Hold on.
Santa knows what to do,
Watch it my side, watch it my side.
but Arun won't do it.
Oh.
What happened?
I don't know.
Arun refused good advice.
Horrible.
I learned that, at times you should listen to other people's advice because that could be pretty valuable and useful. And that's what I learned out of this whole challenge.
Angelina adjusts her rearview mirror. But the rearview will never show Angelina her tires.
Because when you were adjusting your mirror, you were rolling backwards at the same time.
Angelina wants to get a view of her rear wheels.
Ow. I hate windows.
But she can't think clearly.
Whoa, stop moving, you stupid cracked out van.
Instead of making her own decisions,
What would you do to tell me?
Angelina wants Christine to drive from the passenger seat.
I just don't know what to do.
She doesn't know whether to steer left or right. She doesn't seem to even understand it.
I don't want to fall, so which way do I turn the wheel?
Like, I can tell you all I want, but I mean, you have to really understand too, you know?
After a few sad looks,
So hard for me to drive the car from this side of the car, you know what I mean?
Christine gives in and steers for her friend. It's a move that does nothing for Angelina, except encourage her to keep giving up.
I'm not supposed to be driving for you.
I'm so frustrated.
I drove it from the passenger side.
I know, it's so frustrating.
Christine isn't a passenger. She's an enabler.
You did it good.
I just want to lie down. I feel so
Mike arrived in rehab terrified of reversing. After 12 solid days of reverse lessons and challenges,
I can take it 10 seconds. This freaks me out.
Mike is facing his demons,
No, I'm not. Oh!
but he still feels like he's in hell.
Can almost take some time to relax.
He should take some time to eat a breath mint.
Hyperventilate, man. Oh, dude, this is too bad. You just don't know, man. You just don't know. Sorry, I gotta. What am I doing? I gotta spin this way.
Just relax, man, yeah.
Dude, I can't even think, man. Whoa.
On Mike's 21st attempt,
I'm almost there.
Mike succeeds.
Nice. Oh! So it was. We had to go on the other side. Oh my God.
It is a pass, but it feels like a failure.
Before I did this challenge, I really thought maybe I did have a chance to go home, but now I don't even know anymore.
After the break, we've got a stick shift challenge on something we call the gimbal. Uphill starts are the hardest thing to do in a standard manual stick shift automobile. So, for their next challenge here at our rehab center, we've created a course that's entirely uphill. Now, to pass this challenge, Canada's worst drivers just have to show us that they've become well-balanced. The contraption is called a gimbal. The truck is a standard stick shift. The bad drivers learn to operate a machine with a clutch. Back in episode 2. Come on, truck. Whoa! Not coasting off the platform will teach the bad drivers precise footwork. Now I'm gonna go this way again. Oh yeah, now I got room to play. Three zigzags later. Oh, I think I did it. Did I do it? Come on. Holy smokes, this thing is ridiculous. This gimbal doesn't have a large sweet spot. I gotta go uphill just this much. That's it. Hey! Balancing took me 7 minutes.
Now, let's see if Canada's worst drivers are able to figure out the gimbal.
Angelina has a problem with stick shifts.
Oh, no!
Angelina's shoes are a problem for Philippe.
It's very hard to get a feel for the clutch. And a task like this for her with those shoes it's impossible.
Angelina starts
What was that?
in her usual state of mind.
I'm like completely about to panic.
Give us some gas. Whoa, whoa!
Oh!
I think you're good. I think you're good.
Am I on it?
Just like Philippe predicted,
What the f? I'm not doing anything.
Angelina's shoes are inhibiting her driving.
I can't even get my foot
You
off
gotta
the
do
brake.
it quick.
See, I can't do it. It's impossible. Ah!
Whenever Angelina says something is impossible,
Oh, you're in first, you sucker. Move in first.
she usually gives up.
Maybe not.
What the? Oh.
She needs to learn to stay calm.
Whoa! Hey, whoa! Whoa! Ah! I hate this truck. I hate everything with wheels. Fly planes from now on.
Angelina is hopeless.
Whoa! Ah! This is ridiculous. There's no way to do it.
Christine encourages Angelina to quit.
If this is stupid.
I quit.
Angelina has quit half a dozen challenges in rehab.
Stupid car. Ugh. It's impossible. It's literally impossible.
Arun is up next.
I am a pretty sufficiently balanced individual.
Arun is a mechanical engineering student who used to own a stick shift car. But in a 5-speed standard on our gimbal, he needs help understanding.
Do you have any idea what's happening here, or how's it?
Yikes.
What is happening here?
Hey, I think you're on again, so...
He's just not getting this at all.
Should I go reverse, or? I don't understand what is going on here.
He sure doesn't.
There, I'm balanced.
Stop.
Oh! Come on, this is balanced.
Is this called balanced?
I don't know. Oh my god.
Trying to reverse, Arun stalls, then rolls ahead.
Oh, look at this.
But rolling far away gives Arun a chance to get perfectly lined up.
There. There.
Yes!
You did it. Woo! Here, high five. Awesome.
Awesome.
Arun's rare success deserves a photograph.
Oh, careful. Why do you... We shouldn't have touched the car.
Jacob gets angry on challenges like this one.
Oh, this is gonna suck.
But today, instead of getting all punk,
Whoa.
Jacob stays calm, cool, and collected. Stacy is so impressed, she thinks rehabilitation might have rehabilitated him.
That's bound to happen, dear.
And he's staying calm. That's what I'm impressed with.
I'm kind of in the middle.
Whoa, this looks good.
It is good. Jacob did it faster than me.
I was by no means frustrated, so it was a fairly successful challenge.
Mike used to drive a stick shift.
I think I might actually get this one.
Mike starts by getting frustrated.
I hate that.
But as time ticks on,
You truck.
Mike does calm down enough to find the sweet spot. Although, the stress of the gimbal has left its mark on Mike.
I pooed a little bit. Not enough to change my shorts, though.
After the break, Canada's worst drivers go off-roading.
Sorry.
To get out of a really sticky situation involving ice or sand, a normal two-wheel drive car just doesn't have enough power sometimes. That's where four-wheel drive comes in. The next challenge for Canada's worst drivers is learning to handle an intimidating four-wheel drive machine.
This is it. Welcome to the four-wheel drive challenge. On this course, you sometimes can't see the road below you because the drop-offs are so serious. If drivers panic and turn the wheel sharply on these drop-offs, they could flip the vehicle over. But if you just take your time, everything will be fine. If successful, they'll learn the importance of precise handling. And they'll pick up some much-needed confidence. Through this gate, look and see where number 2 is, over there. There's not much else to get on this challenge. To pass, drivers just have to stay safe and get through 8 consecutive gates without hitting anything. If drivers can handle this powerful beast in such hostile terrain, downtown Toronto traffic should be easy for them. And I don't know if you know this, but downtown Toronto traffic is where we're going next episode. Right now, I'm going to the final gate. Yes, piece of cake. I finished the off-road course without doing any damage. Now, let's see how Canada's worst drivers do. Jacob learns how to handle these steep hills from me. And safe means going straight down, okay? Because if you start turning it, she'll roll. Wow, this is scary.
Oh my God.
He might be scared, but Jacob drives this course calmly and he finishes calmly.
Wasn't that bad.
Well done.
Thank you.
Jacob's challenge, though, isn't quite over. You are going to do it again, except you're going to be in the passenger seat doing my job.
Oh.
Arun is taught by Jacob to never turn the wheel when coming down a sharp embankment because of the
Potential to roll the truck right over.
Okay.
But on the first hill, Arun gets excited and turns the wheel.
Straight, no, don't turn that wheel.
Okay.
Arun follows Jacob's advice, but when his wife tries to speak,
Can you stop here or something?
You gotta stop.
Stop.
Okay. What are you trying to do?
I'm just telling you, like...
Okay, don't do that.
for the rest of the course, Arun doesn't stop,
That was good. That was really good.
and he doesn't have any trouble.
Hey, you made it!
Yeah.
Arun will coach Mike Butt.
I should be a good instructor. I think I should be a good instructor.
Mike Butt has off-roaded before.
Yeah, but never really in a vehicle designed for off-roading. Usually like Chevettes and some station wagons. I did it in a Taurus.
Just going to the start line,
Get her!
Mike and Jody seem ready to get messy.
In your pants yet? No?
The goal of this challenge is to display total control. But Mike's not getting it.
I'm gonna remove my glasses, so I don't want to break them riding with you.
Whoa! I did not hit that.
It looks like it's a joyride for him.
Mike seems to have forgotten
Whoa! I think I clipped something.
that driving safely is the only way he'll graduate.
Oh, hang on to your britches. This is going to be a bad one. Oh, there you go. Arun just got elbowed in the head.
Elbows to the head equals dangerous driving.
With a couple minor injuries, but that's all good. Skin grows back.
Angelina is a little more fragile than Mike.
I hit my head.
Taking Angelina to the start line,
Seatbelt isn't tight. Oh my God, that's wet.
Mike is way too aggressive, and Mike desecrated our flag. Angelina is trying to stay calm.
Yeah, I'm having really bad anxiety. I'm gonna have a panic attack.
Okay, try and breathe and calm down.
It looks dangerous.
When Christine calms her down,
Just tell me what to do, and I'm gonna do it.
Mike gets tense, and Angelina gets cracking.
I'm really scared to go over this hill, man.
Angelina faces her fears. Then
I'll go up fast.
she creates fear in Mike and Christine.
Ooh.
Oh my God, I'm having a wardrobe malfunction. Oh, watch your head, watch your head.
I'm trying.
Whoa!
Mike's head stays on, but the number 7 sign doesn't.
Sorry.
Wait, what?
Terrifying passengers comes naturally to Angelina.
That was easy.
When we come back, it's a swerve and avoid challenge.
Oh, ball sack!
If you're driving a car and something suddenly appears just a few meters in front of you, do not lock up the brakes because you will skid directly into that something. Let's demonstrate now, shall we? Man, that always freaks me out when that happens. Let's explain exactly what did just happen. When you lock up the brakes like that, the wheels stop rotating, and you, as a result, cannot swerve. Swerving and avoiding is the next challenge for Canada's worst drivers. And, well, lucky for them, they're going to get a lesson on how to do it. That poor guy didn't get a lesson. Actually, I forgot the lesson's over here.
Yeah, and the swerve and avoid lesson will be taught by Philippe Letourneau.
All right, let's do this. We're driving along, and then, whoa! Stabilize and then stop.
Okay.
It looks simple, but going 50k an hour, Philippe swerved without putting his foot on the brake.
If you brake and steer, you're upsetting the balance of the car, and you're taking a big risk of spinning the car.
And do you take your foot off the gas?
Yeah.
Taking your foot off the gas instantly slows the car.
We've talked about that in
Because the
previous
car will
shows.
lurch forward?
Exactly. Therefore, giving you more grip with the front wheels to be able to steer.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's my turn to drive. I'll go 50k an hour and swerve when Philippe tells me to.
40, there's 50. 50 seems so casual.
Left.
50 doesn't feel challenging at all.
We gotta go faster.
Increasing the speed by just 10k an hour does make it challenging.
60.
And right.
Ooh, feel that thing get out on me. the difference of that extra 10K an hour is massive.
People don't realize, you know, like if there's a speed limit 100, a lot of time people will cheat. They will go 110,
That's
120.
right.
The more speed you add, more risk you're taking.
No kidding.
When confronted by a sudden obstacle, most bad drivers hit the brakes.
So don't hit the brakes first?
Nope.
At 50K an hour,
Oh my God.
everyone swerves successfully. But when 10K are added,
You're at 60 now.
the car is out of balance.
Go to gas.
And the drivers are panicking.
I braked.
Oh my God, I'm gonna. Oh, shoot. Oh my God. Wow, was I going really fast?
No, you were at 60.
Eventually, all the bad drivers learn this life-saving technique.
You gonna do well?
I will. I will do well.
All right, this is what I want to hear.
Arun will run the challenge course first.
I'll just hold tight.
Arun's mission is to go 70K an hour and then swerve to avoid a car that will pop out at the last second. Arun doesn't hit the brake or the obstacles.
Ready?
Yeah.
Santa wonders why Arun didn't hit the brake.
No, I'm not supposed to brake. That's the whole point.
But this time when the stress hits, Arun panics and skids out of control. Santa gets the point of the challenge now, but somehow Arun doesn't.
One of the reasons possibly why you don't brake is because the car behind you might hit you.
No, maybe it's the swinging thing.
Did you not retain what you learned in the lesson?
Basically pretty simple. When you hit the brake, you have no steering control then. In order for the steering to take effect, there has to be some rotation of the wheels.
I don't know.
Because it's probably at speed, and when you brake, you can't really turn.
All right.
Drivers will get 5 runs each at this.
Here's his 4th run.
For this attempt, no obstacle will appear. Will Arun be fooled?
That was good.
There's no car came out.
For everyone's final run, I will be a passenger.
70.
Arun's learning curve has turned a quick corner.
I'm a very slow type of person, so I'm pretty proud of myself for doing this.
Me too.
Yeah.
It was pretty good, right? The steering thing.
It was fantastic.
Angelina finally has proper driving shoes.
They're comfortable, like I've never experienced.
Since arriving in rehab, Angelina has worn a parade of super high-heeled shoes.
Ow, my foot slipped. Foot slipped right off. Ah! My shoe.
And many of those pumps
Oh, sorry, my foot was slipping off my shoe.
have gotten caught underneath pedals.
Oh, whoa. My foot got stuck under the pedal.
I've begged Angelina to get some thin-soled driving shoes.
I'll go buy them, I promise.
Today, Angelina finally has sneakers that will let her feel the pedals.
And they're black, so they go with everything.
On the challenge course,
1, 2, 3.
will the shoes be a magic solution?
60, 70.
Here's the car. Oh! I got it. I hit something.
For her next classic hit,
Do not hit the brakes.
60.
Do not hit the brakes.
Angelina sees the car and is drawn to it.
I think my problem is I'm just focusing on the car. I think because it's bright red and I'm like, oh, my eyes just goes to it. I gotta stop doing that.
On her next trip,
Ready?
Angelina doesn't look at the car or anything else.
And I close my eyes.
Angelina wants me to understand that she is taking steps in the right direction.
You gotta see my new shoes I got. Are they nice? They're orthopedic.
And what's the difference in terms of your driving?
I'm still bad. Okay, I'm at 70. Come on. Sorry, guys.
Angelina doesn't feel her new shoes are helping.
They're real fun to jump and play around with. I was gonna climb trees and like a 4-year-old. I don't find them make any difference. I don't feel the pedal. I never did feel the pedal like I'm supposed to feel the pedal.
On Jacob's first run, the punker is relaxed and perfect.
You know, I get the sense that he has finally understood the importance of staying calm.
70.
I think I got it.
Will he still have it if no obstacle appears?
Nothing came out.
That's the point. You don't have anything to avoid.
Frustrated? Jacob's anger will probably appear right about now. But it doesn't. Jacob believes he's steering calmly towards the rehab exit.
I feel like I deserve to graduate. I think the odds are good.
Mike is up next.
All right, hang on to your bunions.
On Mike's first 2 runs.
60, 70. Nothing's coming.
He reacts to the situation perfectly. All of a sudden, Mike seems to understand how to deal with an instantaneous obstacle.
Before I talked to Philippe today, I had no idea. I mean, that, braking was bad in a situation like that. I figured, something's coming in front, brake. You know what I mean? It just seems logical.
On Mike's 3rd run, he starts cheating left.
70.
Before the car pops out.
Oh, ball sack!
Mike admits he was guessing before the obstacle appeared.
The last time you did it successfully, did you guess in advance that time too?
Yeah. So I figured my tricks out.
This time, instead of going 70, Mike speeds up to 78.
So close.
Honestly, I don't normally look at my speedometer, so it was kind of, probably should though.
Of course you should.
Yeah.
On Mike's final run, he looks at the speedometer too late.
280. Only grazed his nose.
Mike crashed 3 times and guessed the other 2.
Need to work on skill instead of luck. Rely on skill instead of luck.
When we come back, someone graduates.
Do you deserve to graduate?
None of the 4 people still in our rehabilitation center want to make the front page of their local newspaper as Canada's worst driver.
I don't want to be Canada's worst driver. That is not something you want.
I don't want to be Canada's worst driver.
I don't want to be Canada's worst driver. This sucks and I hate being here and I want to go home.
I can't believe that I'm still here. It's killing me.
All the bad drivers will now face our experts and make their case for graduation. Starting with Arun.
Should it be you? Should you graduate?
I don't think I should.
No?
I don't think I should.
Jacob feels like he should.
I feel like a couple episodes ago, I had more to learn, and I feel like now I've gotten everything I can get out of this experience. I feel like I'm ready to graduate.
Mike has the same sensation.
What do you expect in terms of graduation this episode? Do you think you're it or not?
I think I very well might be. I mean, my pros were better than my cons.
Angelina thinks she might be the absolute worst.
Do you deserve to graduate?
No, I don't think so.
No?
No, I don't feel that confident. I don't know. Sometimes I'm doubting myself. I'm beginning to think I'm Canada's worst driver.
It's time to choose this episode's graduate based on the reverse trough challenge, the gimbal, the off-road challenge, and our swerve and avoid test.
For my money, this one's a no-brainer. I think there really is only one person even capable of graduating out of this lot. I see everybody nodding already.
I think we're reading your mind.
Are you reading my mind?
I think so, yeah.
Yes? Well, then there's no reason to have this conversation. I'll see you next episode.
Well, we've reached the end of our second last episode here at the Driver Rehabilitation Center, which means it's time for one more person to graduate before our final show. Jacob, I'm going to start right with you. You've been on the short list to graduate almost every episode. And today, the experts created the shortest short list they've ever created. Only one person was on it. So the question is that person you?
I sure hope so. Yeah, I hope.
The final graduate before our final episode is...
The Jacob we met
Get the out of my way!
was an angry young man.
I do what I want. I'll do what I want. If I feel like learning, I'll learn stuff. If I don't, I'll flip you the bird.
Have a good drive. In rehab,
Jacob!
it took a lot of expensive vehicles and a lot of patience. But after days of doing what he wanted without ever succeeding,
I'm getting frustrated. Is it jackknifing?
Yeah?
Jacob started wanting to change.
I think I got it.
Now, he's making a real effort to always stay calm.
I'm trying to remain patient. I'm trying to get my emotions in check. I was really trying not to let myself get worked up. I haven't had the right attitude, and these things are starting to become apparent. I'm leaving here reformed and cool and collected and much safer driver. I do still do what I want, just what I want is different than it was.
Congratulations. Join us next episode when the final 3 nominees hit the streets of downtown Toronto. In the end, someone will be named Canada's worst driver. On the final episode of Canada's Worst Driver, we've got a reverse slalom challenge, which sends Angelina's mind reeling. And Mike Butt's guts roiling.
Mike just barfed.
Here we go. Then it's our annual mega challenge.
Oh, hell.
And then the nation's ultimate road test. Toronto traffic at rush hour with me in the passenger seat.
Stop! I'm gonna hit somebody.
How many lanes are we going to drive in today?
1 lane.
Watch out for Grandma.
When it's all said and done, someone will be named Canada's worst driver.
I'm not Canada's worst driver.
I'm not the worst driver in Canada.
I hope to God I'm not Canada's worst driver.
The world's only daily science show with Jay Ingram and Zaya Tong. Daily Planet, coming up next.
Only on Discovery Channel.
A helicopter crash lands on top of a Navy destroyer. Tomorrow on Destroyed in Seconds. The spectacular slow-mo wonders of Goop, Goo, and Glock. Tomorrow on Time Warp.
That's not proper